Hi, it's Megan. Happy New Year. Today is New Year's Day, and I wanted to do a quick video for something that I got yesterday because I just was stunned and thought it was gorgeous and amazing, and I was obsessed with it. So I did a review yesterday after I went to Nordstrom and tried on some of the Couture collection from MAC. And yesterday I did a review for one of the lipsticks, the Couture lipstick, and then also, what was it, the Magenta Magnus pigment, which the makeup artist had put just under my eyes, and it was so pretty. It's like an under eye liner. I was just blown away with the colors. But when I was there, I got just totally, I fell in love with and got obsessed with the Couture 4 times eyeshadow, I think they call it. It's just the eyeshadow quad. And I have outdoor swatches. I have it both in the sunlight and in the shade because I don't know that these are that easy to capture fully without both. I was just obsessed with this one particular shade right there up in the corner, which is called All Races. They say, Matt says it's a cool light taupe mauve. It's a matte, and it's kind of, I don't know, I guess that's a really good description. I think of it as kind of a very ghostly shade. It just reminds me of that. It's kind of misty and unusual, and the MAC people said that they really don't have anything like it. It's so light, it's not going to show up, but let's try. I think it's not going to show up. Yeah, it's not going to show up. I put it right there. But it's almost like an iridescent matte, if that makes sense. It's just such a amazing, gorgeous shade. Like, I'm going to use this thing up so fast. I adore it. And then there are the other 4 shades. So first of all, you can see that my quad looks a little dusty, and it is dusty. I didn't clean it for a reason. But by the way, it comes in the regular MAC packaging with the Nordstrom sticker on it. I didn't clean it for a reason. I think that I'm totally obsessed, absolutely, with these shades. And this time of day is not the best lighting in this room, but I have to be somewhere later, so I'm shooting it now because I wanted to get the video up. These are really hard to work with. I truly love this palette, and I got it at Nordstrom. I can take it back. I'm not going to take it back. I'm going to keep it. I adore it. I think it's amazing, but it is one of the harder palettes that I personally have ever gotten to work with. So I was originally going to do like a really natural look, and it doesn't show up so much on camera, so I just threw that away. And then also I figured I should just embrace it for what it is. I did have to bring in some other products, which I try not to do too often on reviews because I want to just show the products that I'm reviewing, and I can actually feel some of this going in my eye right now. If I'm blinking, that's why. So when I did the outdoor swatches, you can see my arm. I did it without primer, and you can only see 2 colors, and I did it like 10 minutes ago. And I've played around with these. I don't like doing swatches with primer because I want you to see what you're actually getting, and I can still see the All Races on my hand. It's just such a light color that it's never going to show up that pigmented. It's pigmented as a super light color, so it's super light. The other 2 you can see, but you can also see they look a little faded. And so this is one of the few cases where I actually swatch the colors more than once. Normally I try to do just one quick swipe when I do a swatch. So again, you can see the actual color, not someone who's trying to build up a perfect swatch. These are really faded already, even though I did the double swipe and sometimes triple. So let me go through the colors. Okay, so All Races, I put that up here, and then I kind of mixed a little in as I was blending, and I'll get to that in a minute. But if you can see the eyes, I ended up just doing a super smoky. I was going to do natural, and then I just, like I said, decided to go with the smoky because that's really what this palette is great at. You can also use it for a more natural gray look, but this is just what it's designed to do. And it does it well, I think. You just have to work at it, but smoky eyes are like that. So when I learned to do smoky eyes, I learned that you put the color on, and then you blend it, and then you put more color on, or black, whatever, grays, and then you blend it, and then you get kind of a more smoky look. That works with this palette because everything here blends away almost too much. So the All Races, for what it is, I still think it is an amazing, perfect, wonderful shadow. It's a little powdery, and it does, you know, it's a really light shade, but I still think it's such a special, unusual, gorgeous shade. It's worth having. But you have to use a primer. And if I were to do this, really, I would use kind of a shimmery primer. I use just the basic Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I did not use Sin, which is like a glistening glittery taupe. That's probably what I would do if I were wearing it out. I've tried it with different looks, but again, I wanted to show the actual colors, not the colors at their absolute best. So anyway, Idle Eyes is super pretty. You can't see it on my wrist at all, and if I do it, you still really can barely see it. So it's a really amazing color. They call it Silvered Violet with Gold, and it's a luster. And this is probably the most powdery. You can even see it's kind of like, I don't know, you can see it's the one that's most dug away, and I didn't use that much of it. And it also is the one with the most powder around it. So it's a very powdery shade. And it also really isn't a color, if that makes sense. It's so light that if I were to do like a red lip, I could use this just on my lids and just get a soft, soft bit of silver and glisten, and an almost not there kind of a look. Or I tried it as a highlighter on my cheekbones, and that was okay. And then I also put it on the inner corner, and then I put it right in here, but I kind of blended in with the other colors, so you can really barely see it. It's a great blending color though if you're trying to get a smoky eye look, because you don't want just like, well, I don't want all black, kind of that graduating colors, and then also blending in the lighter ones once you put too much dark on can actually make it look a lot prettier. So that's kind of what I used it for. I tried to do it also as an under eye liner because I love silver. I love silver in the inner part of the eye, and I love silver underneath. It really doesn't show up that much. It just honestly doesn't. But it's a gorgeous color. It's just kind of a barely there thing, and it does kind of fade off. So for what it is, I really like it, but you have to use it for what it is. The next one, Magic More, Rich Blackened Plum with Pearl, and they say it's a Volux pearl. I really, again, like the color, but I found it hard to work with. So I had to kind of apply it and then put more on, and use different brushes and apply it and put more on. And it is a little powdery. But I think, again, I'll reiterate, for smoky eyes, I like something that blends away better than something that is like super dark and super pigmented that you can't blend, because then you just get black. You don't get kind of that smoky thing going on. And I also can't do a super harsh smoky eye. I have to blend it out because of my coloring. I just look crazy or hard or stupid, or it just doesn't work. So for me, I need these shades that just kind of blend and just kind of get that smoke instead of just black, which is what these do. And these are actually very different. This one's got the purple to it, and this one's definitely just black. So Carbon, that's the last one. Intense Matte Black. I've only started using MAC in 2013. We're now in 2014, but I only started using MAC in 2013. So from what I understand, Carbon has made its appearance in quite a number of palettes, and some people love it and some people hate it. I don't know if this is the new Carbon formula, an old Carbon, I just don't know since I haven't used Carbon before. I liked it, and I don't have tons of Carbon, so I'm not upset that I have more Carbon. I liked it. Again, it blended away. This hasn't been on for very long. This has no primer though. So what I did with these two shades, but I liked it. I like it. I think it's a useful shade, and I'll show you how I used it. So I took the All Races and put that up here with a big brush like this. And then I tried to do the Idle Eyes with the same big brush in the corner, and it went, but like I said, it's just a really light fade away kind of color. Then I took Magic More. I tried this brush. It did not work. I don't have the brush I used. Oops, I meant to bring it. Well, I had a smaller brush that was just an eyeshadow brush that had a stiffer bristles, and I put that, I'll use this brush to show you, I put that all kind of from a little bit more in the inner eye, only because the Idle Eyes was so light, so I put that all in here. It was Magic More, and then I also lined the under eye with it. And then I took Carbon and I again relined the under eye with this brush, my little smoky eye brush. And for lining I also use this brush. These are both kind of what I consider the smoky eye brushes, but this is, I think, a short bristle eyeshadow brush. This really is a classic smoky eye brush with that little pointy edge. So I used both of them to line, and then this one to line, this one to smudge, and then with a little bit of the eyeshadow on it. This one was wet, this one was dry. And so I did the lining on here and halfway down here. then taking with carbon, then taking Magic More and putting it here. I tried putting Idolize in here and I just couldn't see it at all. And then I just smudged with this brush, blended, blended, blended. And then I lined once with carbon. Did not like the line I got. So this is where I brought in other colors. I brought in a couple of other things. I brought in black eyeliner to line the upper waterline, and then it was a soft one, so it migrated down to the lower waterline. And then I brought in coal eyeliner to line the upper eye and a little bit into the corner again. Then I took carbon one more time with this brush, and this brush was a little bit wet, but I wasn't re-wetting it, and I kind of smudged carbon into the coal eyeliner. And then I took this brush, came to the side. See, this is a lot of work. I don't usually do this much work on my eyes. Then I put the carbon in here, smudge that. Then I took this, smudged it a little bit more with this brush. Then, I know I'm getting tired. I took the All Races and I kind of just dusted some of that in and mixed it in a little bit. Then I took my little blending brush and blended. And I think that, and then I took the silver one more time, the Idolize one more time, and I tried to put some more of that in here. I still really don't see it that much, honestly, but I think it does have an impact. It's just not a very visible one. And so I used 5 brushes and I used 2 different black eyeliners to get this look, which I normally don't do. And I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty. It's a dramatic, and you know, you could tone it up or tone it down, just depending. I'm probably gonna, because I've got to go out, I'm probably gonna blend a lot of it out. And with these blendable eyeshadows, I will be able to do that. So overall, what do I think? How would I rate it? I love this palette for what I want and for what I wanted in purchasing it. I don't know that I would recommend this palette just because I think the shades do powder up a lot. I think they're hard to use. If you are good at blending and have the patience for blending, then and you want kind of the softer, the ability to get kind of a darker smoky eye, mixing it in with other blacks or grays or colors, then I think it's great. I think it's fabulously blendable, and that's what I want out of a smoky eye palette. I don't want pigmentation that I can't rub away because it's just too dark for me. And so this, you really can blend, 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 but that requires work. Who should not buy this palette? Someone who's just not comfortable playing around with colors and really working at it. This is not a no-brainer, easy palette in my opinion, unless you're just gonna like brush on a dark wave of color in any of these colors or a light wave of color, in which case you could use a lot of other palettes too. So overall for me, I give it a B+, maybe an A. No, I guess I give it an A- for me. I think for most people I would give it a B, but I love it. It's not going back. I'm keeping it. I'm going to be playing around with it a lot. And All Races, like I said at the beginning, is probably one of the most amazing shades I've ever seen. So it's a fun palette if you're willing to do the work. That is it. If you have this palette, I would love to hear what you think about it. Do you find it workable? Do you find it a little difficult to work with? I might be the only one. And if you have suggestions for other reviews, let me know. I do videos for my book, Captive, which is a thriller, which seems to fit the theme of the punk couture more than anything else. And I think that's it. Happy New Year. I'm gonna go edit this real quick and then I've got to head out. But you be the judge. Worth it or not? Thanks.